Subscribe to Software Testing Mentor channel, learn latest technologies in software testing, test automation, testing tools, and much more. Welcome to another Cucumber and Selenium automation tutorial from rcvacademy.com. In this tutorial, we will learn how to automate your first scenario from feature file using Cucumber and Selenium WebDriver. In the prior tutorial, I have explained you what Cucumber is and how to write a new feature file, and then basically how Cucumber reads, or Gherkin language reads, that feature file to convert it into like the dummy methods which you can implement to achieve the desired outcome in the automation. So in this tutorial, the whole focus will be to basically have Selenium WebDriver in place along with Cucumber, and then see how you can automate the web page or any of the first feature or sample feature from the feature file using Selenium WebDriver and Cucumber. So to get started, there are a couple of steps you need to follow. So Cucumber setup I have already explained in the prior tutorials. In this tutorial, I'll be setting up the further bit, which is Selenium WebDriver along with Cucumber. So to set up Selenium WebDriver along with Cucumber, you need to follow the prior steps to prior videos to set up your Cucumber. And now in this video, I'll show you how to set up Selenium WebDriver. So first step to set up Selenium WebDriver is to download the Selenium WebDriver jar from the Selenium HQ website, then download the browser driver. So for example, you want to run your test case on Chrome driver, or you want to run it on the IE driver, or any other driver. You need to download that particular driver and then import it into your project. So we will go ahead with the first two steps and download the and I'll show you how to download the WebDriver jar and from where to download, and also the browser driver. So just open google.com and type in Selenium WebDriver download. You will get that result already. Just hit enter. You will see the download Selenium link, the first link from Selenium HQ. Click on that, and here you will see Selenium standalone server, right? So that's the only jar file that you need in order to implement or in order to set up Selenium with Cucumber. So just click on this 3.14.0. So by the time you are following this tutorial, there might be new version. So whatever is the latest version, download it and keep it at or save it on your desktop or any location that you can later import from. Now the second step is to download the browser driver. So if you scroll down further, you will see for Mozilla you have Gecko driver, which you can download if you want to run your test case on Chrome. Download the Chrome driver. So for this tutorial, I am running the test case on Chrome. So click on this latest link and it will redirect you to the Chrome drivers download page. So latest release is Chrome driver 2.41. Just click on this and download and save it on your computer. Once you're done with these two steps, come back and in the step 3, configure Eclipse with Selenium WebDriver and browser driver. So on the third step, what you have to do is you have to come back to Eclipse IDE. I'll open Eclipse IDE, and you have to configure, or you have to import the Selenium WebDriver as well as the browser driver that you have downloaded. So what you need to do is what I'll do is I'll create a new folder and I'll say browser driver. Okay, so in this folder I'll place Chrome driver. Okay, whatever I have downloaded, so I'll place that, and I'll quickly open the location. So just I'll copy it and paste it in the browser driver. Okay, now the other thing that you have to do is to set up Selenium. right? So to set up Selenium, you just go to the project, right click, go to build path and configure build path and import or add external, click on add external jar under libraries. So if you go to libraries, click on add external jars, and since wherever you have downloaded your Selenium WebDriver jar, select that, go to that location, select the jar and click on open, and then apply and close. Now you have set up your Cucumber project with the Selenium WebDriver, and now you are ready to go ahead with the with automating your first feature file, right? So I have already created a new feature file known as Google search.feature. So I'll open that feature file. So what the feature is all about, it's basically a sample Google search test case that I want to automate. And the scenario is search results page displayed successfully when user searches any text on Google, right? Now, what the steps are given, I am on the Google search page. When I enter any search keyword on search text box and I click on search button, I should be redirected to search results page, right? So now I want to automate this feature file and not the rest. So what I need to do is I'll go in the source in the runner, okay? Because at the moment, if you see, Cucumber options is features which will execute all the features in the feature folder. But if you just want to execute only particular feature file, just type in the name of the feature file here. So I don't want to execute the other ones. I'll just change it to Google search.feature, save it, and then run that JUnit test. Okay, now it produced the dummy code. It produced the missing steps, right, that I need to implement with Selenium. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy all these methods, okay, go back in the project, and under step definitions I'll create a new class, okay, and I'll name that class as Google search. All right, now in the Google search class I'll paste all these methods. Okay, now it will give you all the errors. So what you need to do is, because you haven't imported the APIs or all the keywords given when then, so you just import one by one. So import given, import when. So just if you just click on it, it will give you the option to import, right? And then so I've imported, and I'll delete this throws pending exception, and later I'll implement these with Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so I'll save it now. Now the next step is to, if we go back to the PPT, so what I have done is I have configured Eclipse with Selenium WebDriver and browser driver. I have done step 4. I have wrote a sample feature file with scenario to automate, which is Google search feature file. And then I have done step 5 as well, which is running the JUnit runner to get the dummy methods to implement, right? So I have already run the JUnit test, and I have got all these dummy methods to implement. I have copied these methods and created a new Java class, Google search, and I have pasted all these methods in that Java class, right? So I have done step 5. Now the step 6 is implement the methods from sample feature file in step definitions, right? So I'm in step definitions at the moment, and I need to implement these methods, okay, with Selenium. So now to implement this with Selenium, you have to start writing the Selenium code basically. So since we have already imported Selenium WebDriver, now we can now we have all those class available to find the elements and to basically interact with the with the browser. So to get started, you just need to first define the driver. So just say WebDriver and import the WebDriver from the Selenium jar that you have that we have imported, right? So I have created a new object called driver, and I'll use that to automate interaction with the browser. Okay, so under given, what it says is I am on the Google search page, right? So using Selenium, I have to open a Google search page on the Chrome driver, because I'm automating this on the Chrome driver. So I'll implement the given method first to open the browser and then launch Google search page, right? So to do that, what the first step is to set the system property, right? So system.setProperty, and in the set property just say WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver, and then set the value, so which is where your Chrome driver is. It's in the browser drivers browser driver folder, sorry, and then it's Chrome driver. Okay, so now that property has been set. So if you see, your Chrome driver is under browser driver and Chrome driver. All right, next step is to create a new driver object. Okay, so new Chrome driver, so Chrome driver. All right, and import Chrome driver. All right, the next step is I'll maximize the window. So once the driver, a new Chrome driver has launched, or new Chrome window has launched, I'll maximize that window, right? So I'll say window dot maximize. All right, next step is to open google.com page. So the methods or function to do that is driver.get and then string. So basically just provide your Google URL, right? So www.google.com. all right, something is not correct here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. All right, so now your first section or first method, given I am on the Google search page, has been implemented successfully, right? Now the next step is I enter any search keyword on the search text box, right? So for that, you need to basically go on the Google search page and then find out the web elements to what exactly are the identifiers for the text box and etc. So if you open the browser and I just say google.com, right? So now your given step will do this much, right? So it will open the browser and will type in google.com. all right, now the second step says I enter any search keyword on the search text box, right? So how will your WebDriver understand that what you need to type here, right? So this element needs to be identified and then some text needs to be passed in, right? So to identify element in Selenium, you have different identifiers. So as of now, I won't go into much details, but there are multiple identifiers, like from ID, from name, from XPath. I'll come up with another tutorial to completely cover all those identifiers and Selenium details, but for now I'll just quickly show you how you can identify some of the keywords, just to keep going with this tutorial. So to identify this text, just if you're on the Chrome browser, just right click and click on inspect, and you will see that it highlights the section here under elements, and you see this ID, right? So always give preference to ID or name if it is available, uniquely available, and then move to any other identifier. So since I'm getting the ID here, what I'll do is I'll copy this ID and use this ID to identify this element and pass data in this element, right? So what I'll do is here is now in the second step, I'll do driver.find element, and then I'll say by ID, and then provide that string whatever I have copied from that Google page, right? So I'll paste that. Now what I have to do, so driver will find the element on Google search page by this ID, and then you have to pass in some text, right? So you'll say dot send keys. To pass any text to the text box, you need to use the method send keys, and then provide the character sequence. So I'll say RCV Academy, and that's it, right? So this section, it will find the element on Google search page and then send the keys on that search text box. Now the third step is to click on the search button, right? So after finding that element, then entering some value in here, right? Sorry, I did click that. I'll go back. It will enter some value, and then it needs to click on Google search page, right? So just right click on Google search page, click on inspect. Now you see that Google search page, you have name as BTNK, right? So I'll use the name here, okay, to click on that particular element. Okay, so just write driver.find element, sorry, driver.find element by name, and provide in the name. And then what you need to do is, so driver will find the element, and then you need to click on the element, right? So you need to provide a method, find the element, and then click on that element, which is Google search button, right? So it will click Google search button, and then the last thing is to verify that you are getting redirected to the search results page, right? So there are a number of ways to do all these verifications and etc. But as of now, I'll just use a simple if else. So what I'll do is I'll say if driver dot find element by ID. So going back to the browser, I'll show you what I'm trying to do here. So if I type in testing, okay, and then Google search, now I want to see that I'm on this results page, right? So I'll pick something which is always present. So for example, this results text, just for sample verification. This is not the ideal way to do it. I'll show you better ways to actually do it, but as of now what I'll do is I'll just see that results text is present on the page and then mark it as pass. If that results is not present, I'll mark that test as failed. So just right click on that element and then click on inspect and see what the ID. So ID says result stats, right? So I'll pick that ID and I'll say if driver.find element by ID, and then provide ID as, right, and then sorry, dot get text, I'll say get text. So it will get the text from the results, that element, and if it contains, right, results, I'll mark it as, okay. So what it is doing is, if driver will be able to find the element result stats it will get the text, right? And if that text contains results, then this test will pass, right? So I'll just print this out, test passed. All right, else I'll say print test failed. Okay, I'll just move this. All right, now after that I also need to close and quit the browser. Okay, so once all the test is done, I'll just say driver.close and then driver.quit. All right, so now all your scenario that was present in the Google search feature file has been implemented. So given step says I am on the Google search page, and with Selenium WebDriver we have set the property to run it on Google Chrome driver, created a new Chrome driver, then maximize the window, we have opened Google search page, then we have implemented second method, which is enter any search keyword, and then click on the search button, and then basically verifying that it's going on the results page and verifying the text present on the results page, right? So all that particular scenario has been implemented, right? Now if you go ahead and execute, or we'll go back to the PPT here. So implement the methods from sample feature file in step definitions, right? We have done it with the Selenium WebDriver, and now last step is to rerun the JUnit test to see the expected results in action, right? So we'll rerun the JUnit test. So go back to Cucumber runner and run the JUnit test, right? Now it should go ahead and launch. Sorry, something went wrong, and the error is driver is not executable, right? So what you need to do is, since I have copied the driver here and I haven't changed the execution permissions, so go to the properties and give the execute permissions here, right? Apply and close, and try running the JUnit test again. Okay, so now it should open the Chrome browser. As you see it, it's not it did pass it, but it's not coming in the front. I'll rerun the test. Sorry, quit the browser and rerun the test. Sorry, it's always opening in the back. I'll minimize this so that you can have a look. Yep, you see the Chrome browser got opened, RCV Academy, and then it verified the text, it printed test passed, and it closed the browser. Right, now if I want to see that verification thing is working, what I'll do is I'll say contains something, some junk character, which definitely won't be on the page. I want to see that test is getting failed, right? So I'll run the JUnit test again. Let's open the browser, typed in, went to Google, and then you see test got failed, test failed got printed, right? So that verification, the last step that we implemented, if else, is actually working. So this is all about automating your first scenario from feature file using Cucumber and Selenium WebDriver. Hope you liked the tutorial. Please do share and subscribe to my channel to get more informative videos and tutorials on automation. Thank you.